This is it. What? Lucini pouring from the sky. Let's get rich. What? The G keep.
Hello, everyone. This is Nook, and this is my friend here. You should know him, Most Dangerous Man, on Twitter.
Indeed, I am. What's good, y'all?
The Kang.
What's good?
We're gonna be doing a little one-on-one podcast. Might expand this upon future, but try to get to see what's going on. So, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead, Kang. Introduce yourself to the people.
Alrighty. What's good, everybody? My name is Kang, also known as Big Bro Tunes on YouTube. I'm a very kind person. I try to be, and I'm just happy to be here. And if you want to hit me up, just please drop your mom's number in the DMs by all means.
Yes, lock up your moms when he's involved. Alright, and I'm Nook. I'm Nook. I'm mostly a YouTube watcher, but I interact with Kang on tons of different Discords. And me and him kind of have a nice back and forth, so I thought we should expand upon it and see where it goes.
Oh yeah, this will be good.
Alright. So Kang, what are your goals, like, for YouTube or for, like, existence even?
Well, I guess I'll start with the first one. As far as YouTube, I guess I don't really plan on making this like a job like some people do. It's like, hey, if I get paid for it, I get paid for it. But I want to do it with passion. Basically, just like pretty much just like have a chance to like talk about the things that I like or love animation wise and everything else, and occasionally bring other people on to help me along the way, like see how they would interpret a show or character and what they mean to them, something deep like that.
Nice. I like that.
Thank you.
No problem.
And
my goals, I guess.
Yeah, what are your goals?
One of the goals now is to get this actually on the YouTube. So
Nice.
We're almost halfway there. Other than that, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm kind of content with where I'm going right now in my life, but I don't mind helping people, and I don't mind bringing people up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, that's good. It's what a lot of folks try to do and everything. So, you definitely contributing to that, especially a lot of small time creators such as myself and other people,
Yeah. And I really don't expect to make any money off this. I'm also just here for a nice conversation.
Nice. Sometimes that's all you need.
A lot of people don't quite understand how nice it is to have a conversation.
That's very true, especially in these times. Ugh.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing we like to do on this podcast, which we'll get out of the way, kind of a show and tell, if you will, of different music. So Kang gave me a track, and let me pull it. It was "Do the Work" by, is it Marlon Kraft?
Do the work, homie. I can keep it vegan, but fuck free range. I need free range feasting.
Yeah, Marlon Kraft.
Okay. I listened to it the first time you gave it to me, and then I listened to it consecutively. And what I thought about it was, it's not bad. He's got a really good flow.
Oh yeah.
I will say at times it did feel a little bit preachy, but that's fine. I mean, I'm not here to knock on preachiness, and also he brings up good points. So, but to be fair, I'm not against it either. Like, for example, people said Bruce Almighty was a little preachy, but that's actually one of my favorite movies.
Bruce Almighty is preachy?
That's what some people say, and I was like, no, dude, I don't know. I found a way. I walked away from it really enjoying it. But I will say, go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. It's like, out of all the movies, Bruce Almighty.
Yeah,
with Jim Carrey.
I know, right? Some people like to find their own things. find their own flaws.
I-
But
Yeah, all
but
right.
like I said though, other than that, I mean, I did like the flow of it. It took
Mhm.
me a while to figure out who he was talking to perspective, and he was talking to his perspective of somebody who's not willing to actually learn all this stuff. They're just willing to keep going within life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, I guess it was basically about like, trying to understand, like trying to break away from your own ignorance of things. Because it's like, listen,
Yeah.
because here's the thing. I've always felt like in life, you could still enjoy your life while still having some type of like, social awareness of certain things. It's
Hmm.
just like, it's not like, oh, you got to always be an activist. Just, be aware, just understand your surroundings at time. That's what it's all really about.
Yeah. Which a lot of people don't take the time, but I would say, and I don't mean this negatively, some people
Hmm.
kind of do a little too much. I think you got to find the balance. That's what I
Hmm.
always say with anything. You got to find the balance.
No, I
Like what's
definitely agree
too
with
much and
that.
what's too little.
Hmm. No, I definitely
But
agree with that.
but yeah, that's how I felt about that song. I will say though, after that song, you
Hmm.
led me into quite the hip hop journey. Like, I listened to another one of his songs called "Workin'," and that one I like a lot
Really?
more.
Yeah.
I like I like more of the beat and the more of his flow on that one. So I will say he does have talent and potential. I believe.
Oh
I would have
yeah.
to listen to more of him, but he it was good. That's all I gotta say.
Nice.
But
Glad I could open up to that.
yeah, like I said, not only that, but you sent me on a bunch of different songs as well, and I was like, God damn! Like one in particular was Los Angeles Anthem.
Hmm.
I don't know if you ever heard that one.
I don't think I have.
All right, but it's pretty good. Also, Yeah Yo.
That one I
That
know.
yeah, that one was like God damn. All right, but
Nice.
and then at this point, before we kind of talk, after we mention the song name, we'll probably have a little bit of clip. That way, the audience will kind of get a feel of how the song is.
Oh yeah, no, that would be good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if we're lucky,
We
maybe
won't get
YouTube won't
copyright
take it
struck.
down. Exactly.
Yeah, I already talked to the editor, which might as well get it out of the way. I'm gonna have Geek actually edit this.
Shout out to GeekTunes, y'all. He is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Please support his Kofi, and if you're not part of his Discord, feel free to join. We're a really nice community. We kind
Oh
of rag on
yeah.
each other, but it's all in good jest.
Oh yeah. We all care for one another. We just
If it
roast each other.
and if it ever gets on a hand, we're actually adult enough to actually talk about it,
Oh yeah.
which is something a lot of people lack.
Yeah, that is true.
So
Mm, mm,
yeah.
mm.
So what about you, sir? I
Oh,
believe I gave you a track.
you did. And let's see. The one you gave me was Jurassic 5 was golden. And I'm not gonna lie. That song was a bop. All right.
I
Like,
actually gave you a different track, sir.
wait, you gave me like, wait, I thought you gave me like two. Yeah. So,
No, I gave you what's golden. Uh, that's gonna be kind of our
yeah, that's
opening
the one I
theme.
said. What's golden?
Yeah, but I gave you terrorist threats.
Oh, oh man.
I mean,
Hey,
but
yo,
if you didn't
that's a my bad, y'all.
if you didn't listen to that one, we could talk about what's golden. Was that the first time you ever heard of it?
Yes, because
Okay.
like, okay, so the thing with what's
Yeah.
golden is you could tell it's definitely like one of those late 90s, 2000s like party tracks. All right.
Yeah.
And I love that. All right. Because like, that I want to say that's like my era, even though I was like a kid, but like a little kid when all that stuff dropped. But like, I'm not gonna lie, I remember like my folks and my older sister was playing stuff like this and everything. So it definitely like took me back for a bit, felt a little nostalgia getting back to
Yeah.
something like that, you know? Just like
Nah,
The beat was
Nice.
bumping, the track, the part was going off. The music video was also fire. It kind of reminded me of No Diggity, No Doubt. That
Oh
track.
yeah, yeah. Blackstreet.
Exactly. Yes, by Blackstreet.
Yeah.
And I just, yeah, it definitely hit the right notes for me. And I definitely listened to the other song because apparently I missed the assignment. Story of my life right
Hey,
there. But
it's
yeah.
cool. At first we were gonna do 3 tracks, and then I was like, no, I think that's way too many. We'll just do one.
Oh
So that's
yeah.
where the confusion happens. It's cool though. I mean, as long as you still never heard of the track, I'm okay with that.
Definitely. Alrighty then.
So my favorite lyric off that track is I'm the lyrical Herman monster. I'm like, that is such a fucking statement. I love that shit.
I love that part right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. It's like,
And
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
go on. No,
No,
go
you go
ahead.
ahead.
No. I was gonna say another track I would recommend would be concrete. One second. I believe it's concrete sidewalk. I believe it's a nice throwback track. It feels like even before the 90s, it feels like one of those classic 80s style tracks where it's
Really?
just really chill. Yeah, hold on. I want to make sure I quote this to you because it's gonna bother me if I misquote this. Yeah, it's Concrete Schoolyard.
Oh,
That's a
Concrete
really good track.
Schoolyard.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
alrighty. I'm
yeah.
add that to the list.
But I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not like a huge fan. I
Hmm.
just kind of going back, and that's one of the things that popped up, and I started listening to a little bit more of their stuff. As a kid, I didn't really I wasn't too into hip hop.
Hmm.
So, uh, over the years, I did like gangster rap back when I was in high school, but I didn't really go anywhere else. So when I first heard "What's Golden," I was like, this isn't Rod Zombie, this isn't Disturbed or anything. So, but now that I'm getting older, I'm realizing I'm liking not only hip hop more, but I'm also liking pop music more. So this is me kind of re-figuring out music.
Oh no, yeah, that's good because that's the thing about like music. It's like you can't just like stick with just one genre and be like, oh yeah, that's my jam. It's kind of like you always just gotta find what's your niche because even in like certain genres, there's like various types. So it's like you're gonna find something that clicks with you, regardless of what it is.
Yeah. And also what kind of brought this on was I did one of those things on Spotify where it's like your year whatever time capsule.
Hmm.
And apparently like it was like your favorite artist, and I was like, oh, who's that? It's like Kanye. I was like, wait, what? And I went back and I was like, oh shit, I do like a lot of Kanye. Huh.
There you go.
And I was like, damn, I do like a lot of hip hop. So like it was kind of funny. Like that was like 2 years ago. I was like, damn, apparently I do like hip hop.
This is a realization for you. It was like because in middle school and high school, I was very much into like a lot of like I want to say like hardcore rock. I want to say, and sometimes it
Yeah,
was just alternative mostly. But then it's like
yeah,
I slowly kind of fall into that rabbit hole of like Linkin Park with their more heavier stuff, 3 Days Grace, Disturbed,
yeah.
everything else. Because I was like, you know what? It usually ain't my genre, but these are kind of hitting a note for me. These are kind of hitting.
Nice. Yeah, I think we might have had similar tastes back then.
Oh, exactly.
That's cool. Did you ever listen to anything a little heavier like Pantera?
I never got into like Pantera that much until I met like my friend. And even
Yeah,
then it's like I'm still not I wouldn't say I was like a big fan or even like a casual, but I could
yeah.
definitely say, it's like maybe like one or two tracks that hit. I can't name them off the top of my head, but it's like when I hear it, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the one.
Oh yeah, that was one of the bigger ones I was kind of into. But I will say I did kind of listen to the same songs over and over.
Oh yeah, that
Uh,
too.
yeah. So who's your favorite artist? Like all time favorite cross genre artist?
If I had to pick, out of
Yeah.
everybody.
And I'm including bands in this as well.
Okay, like as far as like that and bands and everything, it
Yeah.
would probably have to be Gorillas.
Nice.
Like it's just like they literally were there. I guess I could say I was the ultimate fan of them, especially in middle school, where it was like this is the band I listened to every time I was going through some troubles at home or just personal life in school and everything like that. And when I saw them live, it was definitely a life changing experience. But I could honestly
Whoa.
say,
You
yeah,
saw them
right,
live?
yeah, man.
Whoa.
This is like December of like 2010 and everything. I
Whoa.
was
That's
like, hey,
awesome.
yo, thank
Was
you.
that Plastic Beach or Demon Days?
I think that was Plastic Beach at the time because that was pretty much I was around that time
Oh,
when that first
yeah.
dropped. But
Wow.
yeah,
Was Snoop Dogg there?
Snoop Dogg was unfortunately not there, but they had like
Dang.
everybody else like Belle Biv DeVoe, Bobby Womack, all those good guys. I was like, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy where I am
Nice.
today.
Dude, that's really awesome.
Thank you. What about you though, Nook? Who would you say is your go-to of all time? If you want, you could even say two.
Okay. Favorite all-time band would probably have to be Tool.
Really?
I like that deep, dark prog style of rock that you can almost meditate to. It seems like a lot of the
Right?
things they say are really interesting. Like one example is 46 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's about that's about the title of that's about chromosomes
Really?
and how humans actually have, I believe, 44 or 45 chromosomes.
Mm-hmm.
So the track implies that going beyond that, going to 46 in like half. So and it's about gazing into your own shadow, feeling your body change, using your muscle memory,
Damn.
just kind of going through that stuff. That's why I really like it. But Parabola is probably my other favorite track
Mm-hmm.
because it's one of my favorite mantra. Got one of my favorite lyrics, like this body holding me reminds me that I'm not alone. And then this body makes me feel eternal. All this pain is an illusion. Which I could be wrong in those lyrics. This is me not looking it up. This is me from memory. But that is such a nice thing to think about,
Damn, yo. I like that.
Yeah. I say whatever struggles or whatever pain you're going through, it's temporary,
Mm-hmm.
That's how I kind of feel it. Like anytime I'm like I get hurt or if I'm like feeling down, I'm like, hey, it's only temporary. You're gonna wake up tomorrow,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's definitely something we all need to like realize. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially with people. Yeah, once they get down to it, they put themselves lower and lower, and I do know from personal experience, it's hard to bring yourself out of that.
Yeah, same here. It was a long journey from last year and the year before that.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, last year was quite the thing. Was it pandemic or was it other things that was affected you?
I guess it was a little bit of both, if I was to be honest. Like, if you don't mind me like venting
Yeah,
a
go
little
for it,
bit.
man. Yeah, go for it.
All right, so it was like at the time I was kind of just in this in between point in my life where it's like I pretty much dealt with a horrible breakup. I had like was trying to like deal with school on top of work and everything, and that just did not pan out well, especially within
Mhm.
school because I was already kind of like failing one of my classes, and then the pandemic kind of hit, which I'm not gonna lie, I got some benefits out of that being the introvert that I am, but I know eventually it would affect me in how I am because you never realize how much you miss people until you stay as far away from them as possible. For the
That is
most
true.
part.
That is true.
Hmm. And just it just got to the point where it was like I wouldn't say I would like bring harm to myself or say I would like, want to just, just leave this world. But I was like, I definitely felt like I just didn't want to get out of bed. That's all I could really say. If I were to keep it
I've,
more censored.
yeah, sometimes this existence feels a little tedious, so I could see that.
Exactly,
But continue.
Oh yeah, and that's I guess it pretty much just like got so bad to the point where it was like I was like failing my classes. I pretty much like just locked myself out from the world. And then I really didn't like say I would come back to being the person that I am now until like 2021. And even then I was like pretty much like this up until I want to say like July or August. Because I don't know, it was just a lot. Like I started making some accomplishments. I started like, doing the things I used to do, meeting some great people such as yourself.
Thank you.
No problem. And it just got to the point where I was like, I'm tired of being unhappy. And it's like, if I don't give myself some type of purpose, I'm just going to lay in this bed and just not get up, just not do anything anymore. And that's when I basically started working on that Pepper Ann script. And here we are.
Nice. Glad you finally got that done.
Oh, yeah.
Every little step helps you get to where you need to be.
Exactly.
As small as the step can be, at least it'll lead you somewhere.
Just like try to give yourself some type of like motivation or like some type of effort to do something. It could be way bigger than even you expect it to be. And yeah, that's what it's about,
And also, after a while of you setting yourself mundane, minor goals, they start building upon each other. Like you could be one day, I'm going to put on my shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just becomes second nature. And then you move on to, I'm going to put on my pants.
Yep.
But these are just examples. I'm not saying you get your ass naked out there.
Nah. I mean, true, but like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, we had to learn. We had to teach ourselves sometimes, somehow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just takes it's just the little steps that count,
Yeah. All right. Well, is that all your rants? Or I hate to ask.
No, you good. Like that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Just like, yeah, that's basically it. That's my life story right there.
Hey, that's fine. I mean, I attended college once too, and I fell into a deep depression. I didn't do my classes either. Kind of had to go back to the parents' house, which is something nobody really wants to do.
Oh yeah, no, just it'd be like that, but there's nothing to be ashamed of because let's be real, a lot of folks had to move back to their parents or like go somewhere they're originally like leaving from because man, 2020 hit us like a freaking brick in a window.
Oh, it did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I work in health. So basically, we weren't affected. They was like, no, you're still gonna go in there. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, go in there. Like, okay. Hope we don't get thinged. Luckily, I managed to get myself switched to another department to where I didn't have to go into the hospital all the time.
Good.
Yeah, but one of my former coworkers, he quote unquote tried to get fired because he was afraid of catching. Which I'm not saying there's not a real paranoia or fear of that. That is true. But I'm saying he was doing it just to, it didn't really feel like genuine. He was just like, I'm trying to get fired so I can get money.
Ah, man. I mean, I get that. Like, because I'm not going to lie. Like, the people that I used to work with at the retail store and everything, and I'll just say Goodwill and everything, they just like were so miserable. A lot of them. They had been working there for years, and as I started to work there, I completely understood why. Like,
Uh,
you see how SpongeBob is anytime he's going into the Krusty Krab and how he's happy and just ready to work and do whatever.
yeah.
I basically went in like with the mindset of SpongeBob, ready to work and do my job, and then I came out as Squidward. I was tired. I was miserable. I had aspirations that I just was not able to reach because of that job. So I'm just like, man, I think I get
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm kind of content where I am right now with the job. It's desk work, but for a while, and I'm gonna say it as a man, um, it didn't really seem available to me without taking classes and clerical stuff.
Hmm.
But this position got requested, and I took it, and I'm kind of enjoying it. Just kind of answering phones, putting in tickets and whatnot, sending out reports. I dig it. It's tedious, but you know, it gets me. It keeps me busy, which is good
No,
for the ADD.
no, trust me. I with someone with ADHD, I can understand completely.
Oh yeah. Okay. I think we kind of got off a tangent there. Uh, we were going to talk about comics. I think at
Nah,
some
it's,
point.
nah, it's fine. It's like you said when you asked about this and everything. It was like, if it's a chill conversation, sometimes we get
Yeah.
into these things by all means. But yeah, let's talk about comics a bit because I'm pretty sure
Okay.
we're both avid readers at this
Wait,
point.
yeah, I will say I'm more of a DC fan, but there are a few Marvel things I do like.
Oh yeah.
So I'll throw that out there.
All right, by all means, what you got?
Okay. Well, I mean, we could talk about a number of things. Have you ever read Kingdom Come?
I've heard about it, but I never actually read it. What's that about?
Okay, Kingdom Come is about a world where basically all these superheroes kids. It's basically kind of a take upon 90s comics where 80s and 70s comics, they were all the golden age, the best of what they could be, the harbingers of freedom and whatnot.
Right.
And then the kids are supposed to represent the 90s where everybody was like hardcore, killing, swearing, all that shit.
Edgy, yeah.
Okay. So what ends up happening is what ends up happening, which is kind of funny,
Hmm.
is there's this priest and he's talking to his commune,
Yeah.
and I guess for a little bit of transparency as well, I'm not a Christian myself,
Hmm.
but there's like imagery and ideology which I do find fascinating. So,
Hmm.
but I want to be clear about that.
No, I
I'd hate to
understand.
I'd hate to you know for somebody to get mad at me.
No,
But
no, like, look, like as
go
a
ahead.
Christian, no, I was just gonna say, like, as a Christian myself, no, I understand. It's all good. You do what you
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
man.
Okay, cool. I'm more about meditation,
Hmm.
but I don't do it as hardcore. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of slacking on that.
It's all
But
good.
we all be slacking.
Exactly.
Okay, so he's talking to his commune, and the fights between. See, what happens was the kids, who are kind of an allegory for the 90s comics, they actually killed a lot of the old school villains. So and instead of, taking bad guys to jail, they'll kill them.
Whoa.
So the problem is, who do you fight when there's nobody else left to fight? So they end up kind of fighting each other and causing, like havoc and mayhem, trying to quote unquote get each other under control and whatnot.
Hmm.
And this priest, he's starting to, lose his faith because why would, God let this shit happen?
Right.
And in this world also, a lot of our golden age superheroes have either retired or live in exile.
Right.
Superman, he actually retired because the Joker took a laughing gas bomb up to the Daily Planet and blew it up.
Whoa.
So he killed everybody. You know, kind of a quote unquote, you could say a precursor to Injustice, if you will,
No,
but
yeah, it
on
definitely
a
sounds
bigger
like it.
scale.
Right.
But that's not only the one thing that's it, but it kind of set off a catalyst. Like after Joker did that, he was captured. One of the newest heroes, kind of an allegory.
Hmm.
I believe it was Kilowog. It's been a while. I have to read it again. But
Right.
he actually kills the Joker in front of Superman. And then
Damn.
Superman seeing how this is going to go and what everybody was praising, he figured he wasn't made for this universe anymore. So he kind of went off.
Wow.
But back to the priest. Basically, the priest, he after questioning this, he kind of awakens to the Spectre.
Hmm.
Do you know who the Spectre is?
Oh yeah, no, I remember the Spectre.
Okay.
I remember watching his DC short and everything, but yeah.
Yeah. Short story is basically he's the embodiment of God's wrath. Just for the viewers at home.
Alrighty.
And he takes him. He kind of astral projects him out of his body, and kind of takes him into the world of where all the conflicts are happening and whatnot.
Jeez.
Yes, and I won't get into too many spoilers. I'll get some highlights. Batman, he is still in Gotham, but he turned all of his Batmobiles into robots, and they patrol Gotham. Like, it's the most secure Gotham's ever been, but nobody really has too much freedom, you know, because they're being monitored. Wonder Woman, she kind of went back to Amazon, to the Amazon.
Themyscira, yeah.
Themyscira, yeah. Green Lantern, which in this world, it's Alan Scott. So
the original.
these are all the originals.
I like that.
He actually patrols the above the Earth as its protector still.
Wow, yo, I like that.
Yeah. And the Flash, he became so much of the Speed Force. He's basically transparent, and like
Seriously?
people at his town, they swear that he exists.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always rumors that there's a red typhoon running around. And I will say that one isn't confirmed if that one is the original one, but he wears the helmet just like the original. So it's heavily implied.
I see. No, I like that.
Yeah. But basically, one thing in particular, what happens is like there was a big fight between a lot of the new meta humans fighting each other. And one of them gets cut in half, which is Captain Atom.
Damn.
I believe. And his body ends up nuking basically half of Kansas.
Boo.
Yeah. And Wonder Woman goes find Superman. Superman's kind of been in his Fortress of Solitude, making a farm out of his out of a hologram, basically. But basically, it all comes to head to where Superman is at the point where he's about to claim vengeance upon the Senate because they decided to do what does the Senate do? Oh yeah, we bomb whatever we can't find the answer for. And a lot of the heroes became in the crossfire.
Wow.
So, and that's what the Spectre brought him there for, is to be the one who's seen all this and make the final judgment. So the Spectre throws the priest there, and he tells Superman, even with all this destruction, you have to see that there's still people here, people who are scared, you know, all that stuff. I don't want to give too much away, but it's a really great story.
No, I got you. And I definitely seen. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And it's written by dang it, I would know. The art's done by Alex Ross.
The GOAT. Yes.
and it was kind of before he kind of got up his own butt. I'm not gonna lie to you. At times, he's kind of up his own butt, but he does good work. So it's kind of it's okay with him doing that, but sometimes it's about ego, and some people have a little too much. And the writer is
wrong.
And the writer is Mark Waid, which he does phenomenal work. Like he did a run on Daredevil. That would be something I would recommend if you like Marvel comics. He did a really good run on Daredevil. But yeah, that's what the story's about. All right, what about you? What you got?
For me, because I'm all over the place with comics. It's not even just like Marvel and DC. I like a lot of, independent comics, or even like just comic book companies nobody really talks about. Like, I love Image. Y'all know Invincible, Spawn, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I used to have the first issue of Spawn here somewhere. I think I sold it though.
Oh man, but. That'd be like that sometimes. Like as far as like I guess comic book recommendations, I'd probably just do something simple and recommend a quick Marvel comic for everybody, because
go for it.
Like, there's the thing, I'm definitely a Marvel guy myself, and MCU and all. And as far as like comic books and everything, the one I could definitely say I recommend everybody reads is the Immortal Hulk.
I've heard good things about that.
It is phenomenal. Like, I can't
tell me about it.
Like, all right, the best way I could describe the Immortal Hulk is like somebody, because like a lot of people always said like how like the Hulk was originally designed to be like based on Jekyll and Hyde and everything. And the best thing about the Immortal Hulk is that they take advantage of that, and the Hulk goes from like the original, like, kind of like this lovable, kind of badass, like, giant monster guy, but in this, they actually dive deep into the idea that the Hulk is in fact a monster, and how it's like everybody has their own like eternal monster that dwells within them, even if they're not just a Hulk and everything. They take advantage of the fact that, yes, these are still monsters and they're almost otherworldly. Like the Hulk just becomes dark sometimes, to the point where it's like there's even kind of like body horror, to the point where it's like, I'm gonna be real, like, Mr. what's his name? The guy who did Cthulhu and everything.
Yeah. H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, thank you. H.P. Lovecraft is like, it just, you feel that when you're reading these stories, and the writing is like spot on. With like, it has like these intertwined biblical messages where it's like, it's not trying to like force the religion or anything. It's just like, it just brings in the parallels and how they're like alike and everything. And it gets to the point where it's like you got Bruce Banner and the Hulk kind of just battling out like, oh, who controls who, or who's trying to like, look out for one, or like, who's in control of the body and everything. And it all finally boils down to the point where it's like the Hulk finally like has the moment to like look at Banner, where their bodies are finally separated. He looks to Banner and he finally tells him, I love you. Because he straight up tells like Bruce Banner that he loves him because someone has to, because they're all they have. Like Bruce, he came from this broken home where he had an abusive father that killed his mother, and it just got to the point where he was like, yeah, the Hulk was always eternalized, and after that nuke and everything, hit with them gamma rays, he basically became that, and now, yeah, that's what happened.
Nice. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, and there's like so much more to the story. Like, they bring back some classic villains to the point where they're, I wouldn't say unrecognizable, but you can definitely tell they kind of just take advantage of the fact that, yeah, they're mutants, they're deformed, they got this body horror going on, especially with Betty Ross. Because like, to anybody who's a fan of the Red She-Hulk, if they remember her, yeah, you're probably not gonna like this.
Oh, okay.
But like, it's still interesting, and she still has a great character in that. So yeah, I definitely recommend it for anyone who's into like Marvel and is a fan of the Hulk, because I love Hulk comics, the good, the bad, and the mediocre. But this one, I can definitely say S tier, top tier, greatest of all time.
Nice. I will say, and 2 points. One thing about you saying like they use the iconography, but they don't really kind of push it on you.
Mm-hmm.
One little interaction like was an Infinite Crisis where it's been a while. Somebody was talking to Mr. Terrific, which Mr. Terrific, he's the black techno man who
Yep,
can
I
like
remember him.
communicate with machines.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was talking to him. Is like, it's like, you're really an atheist? He's like, yeah. And then he gestures over to like there's a bunch of there's a pews, and they're speaking to like an archangel. It's like, well, what about those guys? Like, what do they worship? And he's like, yeah, well, he's like, well, I mean, that exists. He's like, but you're still atheist. He's like, yeah, I mean, you have your gods, I have mine. They can all, which is really, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, which means we can live in harmony. We don't have to argue whatnot. Just have yours, and I'll have mine.
Oh yeah, no, and I like that. I guess it's kind of different in the sense where it's like, what if like you like believed in a god that exists, that is literally real, but it's like, would you still like feel that same way, or would it? I guess it would kind of just, best way I could describe it is like, if you choose to follow a leader, that you choose to follow. I guess it's like, regardless of if they're real or not. Or I guess if they were real, you would basically just say, okay, this is the person I follow, or this is the person I choose not to follow at the end of the day,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing was, dang, I kind of forgot the other point, but I guess, oh yeah, I remember what it was. I hate to say it, but it sucks because I really love both. I do kind of like both companies. Like, I like DC more, but Marvel, they've got some good things I do like. But recently, it feels like they're kind of almost losing their way, which is kind of sad. You know what I mean?
Nah, no, know what you mean, and I'll be real. I sometimes feel like that with DC at times, because here's the thing. My thing with DC is not because of their comics, is because of how they advertise one thing and just completely forget the other. Like, here's the thing. Love Batman. Love him as a character. Love him as a franchise.
Yeah.
But DC really gotta like give some love to other heroes, because it's like, it's either Batman or bust. Like, you'll give Superman some love, maybe Wonder Woman and the Flash, but like, it's like, it's Batman and then there's everybody else. Like,
no, I can agree to that, because like a lot of the stories you kind of had to dig, like either into like recent catalogs or to like further back to find really good other stories, from Green Lantern to Aquaman to Blue Beetle even.
Exactly. Like,
but go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, because it just got to the point where it's like, I was in a bookstore the other day, or like some time ago, and I come across like a Justice League manga, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then I pull it out, and it says Batman and the Justice League. And I'm like, y'all really had to give Batman top billing just to like sell your book, like, bro. Come on, man.
And I guess for transparency, I should say I'm a big Batman fan. So I'll just throw it out there. I do know what you mean, though. It's like, wait, isn't Batman part of the Justice League?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I will say that it does feel kind of oversaturating at times. And I'm not going to be the first one, but I will say it. I think they're rebooting way too fast. It's like, we could have not reboot Batman once again.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been content if, heck, what they could have done, they could have turned this into a Nightwing story. I would have been okay with that. At least he would finally be in the universe, in the movies.
Yeah, it took him long enough.
Yeah, it's kind of like when people were bitching about, and unpopular opinion, Suicide Squad. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. The original. People
Yeah.
bitch about it. People bitch about it. I'm like, hey, you know how long I waited for Killer Croc, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang to finally be acknowledged within a movie universe? You know?
No,
But
yeah.
people just want to bitch about it. And they'll be like, hey, you should check out Arkham Escape from Arkham instead. I'm like, guys, they're tangible. They're actually real in this universe.
Like, no, I agree to that because here's the thing: I saw that movie and I loved it at first, and even after watching it again with all its flaws and stuff, I still like it. I'm not gonna sit here and
Yeah.
act like this is a garbage movie. Like this movie is like fine. All right, it's not
Yeah.
perfect, but fine. All right,
Yeah.
like not gonna lie, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn pretty good. Will Smith's
Yeah.
Deadshot pretty good. Wanted more
Yeah.
Captain Boomerang, but I still loved him.
Yeah, which I was surprised. I actually liked Captain Boomerang's character.
Right?
And then, and to kind of go from there, people didn't quite understand, and it is part of, hey, you gotta go do homework sometimes with these movies. Like, hell, at the end of freaking Avengers, like the second one,
Mm-hmm.
how many people actually fucking knew who Thanos was when they saw the purple face, you know?
Exactly.
It's like, in this one, people are like, well, why'd they have Slipknot? Because in the comics, when they originally formed this Task Force X, Slipknot was the one that got tricked by Captain Boomerang to to divert and see what would happen. And hey,
Yeah.
that happened in the movie. And then they say, well, what about Enchantress? She was just kind of weird. It's like, if you go into the comics as well, Enchantress, she was possessed by the succubus,
Mm-hmm.
which her brother in the movie is called the incubus. So there's a lot of connections people refuse to see or they refuse to look up.
Exactly. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. You know, sometimes you need a movie to like explain certain things to you, you know, exposition or whatever, but like other times is like cuz here's the thing. DC movie wise, you know, like once they established their connected universe, it definitely had a rocky start. Like
Yeah.
and like I'll also say this: I liked Man of Steel. It is not a perfect Superman movie. It's not even a
Yeah.
perfect movie, but God Lord, those fight scenes though, not gonna
Oh
lie.
yeah. They get the DBZ blood going.
Exactly. Now I was gonna say that too. They could do a DBZ movie with that
Yeah.
stuff like Zack Snyder. I won't be
Oh yeah.
mad.
Oh yeah. And I will say, bringing up that one, people will bitch about, oh, Superman killed Zod at the end. Well, what do you think happened in Superman 2 back in the like 70s and 60s? You know,
Yeah.
like he took away their powers and they got flung into into like a almost emptyless cavern. They're not coming back.
Yeah, you know they're not coming back. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. So, like, you know, Superman doing the thing that he did, it's like he had no choice. It was like, oh, kill these people. It's like, you know, oh, he kills these people or I kill him. He was forced to choose. That was literally a fight or flight situation.
And I mean, you could feel the agony in his voice after he killed Zod, because that was one of his only people who knows how it is to be a Kryptonian. You know.
Exactly. I was literally the last of his kind,
Yeah.
supposedly.
Yeah.
And that was just him just being destroyed. It's not like, oh, LOL, killed the bad guy, saved the day, peace. Nah. Man was devastated, bro.
Yeah. But and one other, I guess, thing I should bring up as well.
hmm
I would really wish people would stop comparing the two, like movie wise.
Comparing
One
like
thing,
how so.
you know, Marvel and DC, they're always comparing those
Yeah.
two. I was
hmm
like, can't you let them stand on their own?
Yeah, no, I
It
agree.
doesn't always have to be versus. We can appreciate one, appreciate the other. Like one thing in particular, people are always like, "Oh, dude, they're always so brutal and dark and shit. And I'm like, but you can't appreciate the light without appreciating the dark. I mean, we can be all jokey and whatnot with the Avengers and be all like serious and gritty with Batman. You know?
Exactly, because they're literally two different, like, people in teams, and it's like, and even then, it's like y'all be saying like dark, gritty, brutal, and then you got Shazam over there, like, "What's up,
Yeah.
dog? I'm flossing."
And then hell, and whenever they do that, they'll just be like, "Oh, they're copying." I'm like, "You're not gonna let them win." You know, you can't win the argument. It seems.
Exactly, like
Yeah.
it's just you gotta
And,
like enjoy one without the other. You can enjoy
yeah.
both.
Exactly. And hell, I mean, if you wanted to put that argument, um, DC, they're Superman and Batman. They were like, well, Batman towards the end, he was like jokey, campy, and kiddie. And then then when Blade came out, they were all dark and gritty and bloody. You know,
Exactly.
it's like guys, we've been through this cycle before.
And it's gonna happen again.
Yeah. I mean, hell, people are like praising, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm still 50-50. They're praising the new Batman, and I'm just like, isn't this what you guys were bitching about before? Like being all dark and gritty?
Yeah, like that's literally like because here's the thing. I have a friend. He
Yeah.
is very mixed on the whole thing. Like, but here's the thing. He at least likes to admit the fact that he likes the campy with the dark because he loves Batman. He
Yeah.
loves those Tim Burton Batman movies and the later ones where they got mad goofy and everything.
Yeah.
He loves that mess, but he also loves Christopher Nolan's Batman. He likes Batman v Superman's Batman. He freaking loves the trailer to the Batman.
Yeah.
It's just how he is. He just loves Batman. He can't get enough of it.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to rate on parades. I just, part of me is kind of, I'd say maybe judgy and pessimistic, but that kind of comes with my life. You know, I've been around a lot longer than a lot of the people who are kind of seeing this with a new eye. You know.
I'm not trust and believe. I know what you mean.
And I will say that's probably why another reason I'll spoil it. Another good reason why I brought you on here because I think you're a little bit more optimistic than I am. So I think that makes a good balance.
Oh, definitely. I try to be,
but
anyways.
I will say, out of the campier ones later on, Forever at least has merits to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll put on Forever and I'll be like, okay, you know, freaking. It's a little goofy with the neon stuff and whatnot. You can at least feel Burton's presence on there because he was still producing it, so that was still kind of his thing.
Yeah.
Just with the coat of paint.
Not just black and white.
Yeah, and hell, like Val Kilmer, he made a decent Batman, which nobody gives him enough credit for. It's always we forget about him and then we bitch at freaking what was it? Who was the guy who took over? George Clooney.
Yep.
You know, and I'm like, guys, what about Val Kilmer? What happened to that man?
Batman keep changing faces.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Go on.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, pretty much. It's like, I guess at the end of the day, it's like you pretty much just like what you like, and that's pretty much where I am with things. It's like, here's the thing: people kind of just go on these tangents about like, oh man, this is objectively bad, or this is garbage, or this is like something terrible, and you're terrible for liking it. And I'm just like, man, if it's got an audience and if people like it and if the people are willing to put in the work for it, then hey, they did their job. Some people are happy and you might not like it, but hey, it is what it is. I don't have to make a 2-hour video or tangent about why something is bad and why I don't like it, because I'm just not that type of guy and I can't put that much energy into things I hate. I already did all that in middle school. So
yeah. And I will say, some people actually just like to zoom in upon the hate part to not appreciate what we got good out of it.
Exactly.
Like Cinema Sins, that's actually just a parody, basically.
Exactly.
But I guess we could have. Well, I guess we'll get a. We're almost good, but let me get. Who's your favorite superhero? And I'll let you go one Marvel, one DC, and I'll even say character. That way you can choose villains as well.
All right, fair. Alrighty, so favorite Marvel character. I'm very, very biased towards Luke Cage.
Nice.
I love the guy. I love how he's just like this very streetwise hero because I love a lot of streetwise heroes. It's one of the things that always inspires my characters in writing. And it's like, I just like him because he's probably one of the few superheroes with the most stable relationships. Like, man's happy with his wife, his kid. He's got a healthy relationship with his best friend. Iron Fist and everything. So it's like, I can't even be mad. I just love a hero that's about that vibe.
Nice.
And for DC, God, there's like so many characters that I love in DC
I know, right?
that don't get enough like either love, credit, and I just can't think of at the top of my head. But I guess if I had to boil it all down,
yeah,
I would probably have to say, I'm gonna just say it. I got nothing but love for Starfire.
Really?
Yeah, because like I don't know, it's like Starfire, not just like with Teen Titans, but it's like as I like read more with her with the classic Teen Titans, the 2000 stuff that's kind of mid, but it's still nice to read every now and then. And it's like I just think Starfire is it's just a very enjoyable character where it's like she's kind of ditzy, but she's very genuine. She is very kind and loving towards everything and everybody. And I hated what they did with her in like the New 52 when that first happened.
Dude, same. I was so pissed.
Bro, like what you do? Look how they massacred my girl.
Exactly.
Bro. Oh man, like you sure you're not Blackfire in disguise? Like, what's
I
up?
know, right?
But
I mean, yeah. Luckily, they've kind of erased some of the bad stuff, but sometimes it pops up every now and again with the New 52.
Yeah, like sometimes retcon is a good thing, y'all.
Yeah, exactly. You give
But
us classic Starfire.
Oh yeah, exactly. Classic Starfire, love to death. Just love that girl. But who would you say is your favorite?
One more thing.
what's
Starfire.
up?
I used to. You've seen those Bushido like statues, right?
Yes, Bishojo, yes, I have one of them.
Dude, I used to have the Starfire.
Nice, man.
Dude, and I became unemployed, and that was one of the things I had to get rid of. And I was like, oh man, because I had that one, and I was gonna buy a Raven, and then I had to, and then I lost my job. So
the
it was sad.
y'all.
And now there's a shop I go to every once in a while, and they have one, but it's like $100. I'm like, God damn it, I bought that for 50.
Bruh.
Because those things, they're not only are they made, but there's so many of them are made. So it's like this one's numbered. So haha.
Man.
I guess I could go find the Chinese knockoffs. But man, the quality in that one was, nice.
It was perfect.
All right, so let's see. I'll give a different DC one because I've already told you Batman's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
But I'll say my favorite Marvel. It's always a toss-up, but man, I like Magneto. He's my favorite.
Ooh, nice choice. I like that.
I mean, I like the fact that he's a Holocaust survivor. He's just got he's such a legacy character, and I hate how they've massacred his history because they're like, oh yeah, he no longer has kids.
Bruh.
No, dude, and it's just because out of spite, because they didn't fucking own the rights to it. Like, really, you're gonna fuck with my one of my favorite characters' backstory because you can't settle with movie rights because you're giving free advertisement. Then why not just cancel the freaking series? You know?
It's just like why? It's just don't do it at all. That's your only
Yeah,
option.
yeah. And I will say, I mean, that was not only that, but the thing is, like with Marvel, they can't cancel the X-Men because that's what they freaking think. That's one of the things you think of whenever you think Marvel. You think X-Men, you know?
Exactly. Like, let's be real. Nobody knew about the Avengers like that up until like the 2010s. And even
Yeah.
then, like maybe Ultimate Alliance if you wanted to play that game. But yeah, all I knew was X-Men, bro. Wolverine, maybe Spider-Man, and
And
all
hell,
the
they.
and
Sorry.
I was just gonna say like basically just like all the basic heroes that we watched in movies. But other than that, all X-Men. They were the goats.
Yeah. Hell, I mean, they've had like 3 animated series. Avengers, we had one in the 90s, and it sucked. Like
Mm-hmm.
hell, they had like promos of Thor and Captain America just for the theme that were barely in it.
Jeez, man. Imagine lying to you lying to your audience like that, bro.
Yeah, yeah. And then like hell, we finally got a good Avengers, and they were like, "Nah, we're gonna cancel it because we're gonna merge with Disney."
Thanks, Disney.
And then we were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do like Ultimate Spider-Man with the Avengers." Like, oh, okay.
And then there was Avengers
Yeah.
Assemble.
Yeah. And hell, like I'm not gonna lie, I there are a couple of movies that they did straight to video were actually decent.
Oh yeah.
One of them was Planet Hulk. Planet Hulk was pretty decent.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
The other one I can't really think of at this time, but I will say I did watch Young Avengers, and I kind of regret it.
It was you weren't feeling it like that.
Yeah. Well, the thing was like the cool character design I liked, which was like Valkyrie. I think that's what they were calling her, like Thor's daughter.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. She started off with like, just blonde hair, like a little pigtail going, and I was like, "Oh, cool." And then next few scenes like, "Oh yeah, they changed her hair and they gave her a stupid costume." I was like, "Oh,
Man. it it was such a weird movie to me because like I used to watch like all those like Avengers movies with my dad when I was like a kid and everything.
yeah.
And it's like we liked Ultimates, which that's another thing. It's like the Ultimates, but then the last movie is like a regular like future universe, I guess, but
Yeah.
whatever. And but no, when that happened and everything, he liked the first two. The third one he was just not feeling, and I wasn't really feeling it either. So I'm like, yeah, nah, first two are like just good. They were good.
Nice, nice.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, so
Dang, bro.
oh man. Oh yeah, that was quite a tangent, but yeah, basically Magneto. And then
Nah,
I guess another Marvel character, I mean a DC character I like besides Batman. That's a really good question because that is basically almost it. But I will say, mm, mm,
you could even be a villain or
yeah,
character, wherever
yeah,
you
that's
want.
what I'm thinking. Deathstroke. Deathstroke.
Really slayed.
Yeah, I like Deathstroke. I don't know why I call him I call him Deathstroke because it's kind of how I knew him, and that's how I kind of register him in my mind. But yeah, I like his design, and
Mm.
I like his powers. Like he's serious. I mean,
No, I like
and
that.
yeah, yeah, and I like the fact that anytime I see him, I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna fuck some shit up. And I don't know if you ever read Identity Crisis.
I didn't read that one.
You did?
I didn't read that one.
Okay, basically, I won't spoil it for you, but basically, Doctor Light's Destro decides to free Dr. Light from prison, and he does it pro bono because Deathstroke is a contract killer.
Yeah.
And the Flash, Green Lantern, Zatanna, and Green Arrow all show up to try to stop him. And he wrecks the fucking shit out of all of them. His first tactical move is he goes up to Zatanna and punches her directly into the stomach to where she starts vomiting, so she can't cast spells. Then I believe he takes the sword and slashes at Green Arrow. Green Arrow's like, I dodged it. And then you noticed all of his arrow feathers were cut off, so he can't use his arrows anymore.
Bruh.
And then I think he breaks Green Lantern's arm to where he's, and this is, I believe, Kyle Rayner. So this is the second one, to where he was too focused on the pain to actually use his Green Lantern ring. And I think he manages to catch Flash off guard too. It was just like, it was like, wow, like he that was really all the top tiers. And then they eventually subdue him. Like Green Arrow sneaks up behind him with a broken arrow and stabs him in his other eye. And he just gets so pissed, so he loses concentration after that point. And then and it sparks a memory within Dr. Light, and Dr. Light basically solar flares everybody and disappears. Yeah.
Bruh, like Deathstroke is very. This might sound weird, but like I've always felt like Deathstroke was very underrated.
He is very underrated, and I will say that's mostly because of his parody character. And I'm not a fan of Deadpool. I will say that.
No, I understand. Like I'm definitely a Deadpool casual, but I could honestly understand how people could like get tired or like feel like he's just not be into him at all, because like Deathstroke is just great.
And that's just the thing, though. It's not just I hate him because he's a parody character, but it's mostly because he's everywhere. He's always shoehorned in. They use him just for about anything. You're like, oh, I got a black and white cover of Avengers with Deadpool doing the Gundam style. How random.
Yep.
Or you get one other thing I was thinking of. Or how it's kind of like a supposed known, like everybody likes Deadpool type of thing, and it feels. And I will say to listeners, it's okay to not like something everybody else likes. That's fine.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to feel alone. There's other people out there. It's just really hard to find them at times.
Exactly. It's like you really got to find the minority within the majority of things. Because look, I'll say it. I like Deadpool, but if you were to ask me who was my favorite character that I like on a joking level or like funny parody type level, The Mask is right there. Like, not just the movie, like the comics, all that stuff. If I were to pretty much like just say this real quick, he is probably one of my favorite comic book characters of all time.
Hey, that's
no question.
Fine. That is fine.
Oh yeah. But yeah. Nah, like as far as like the topic of Deathstroke and everything, yeah, he's definitely underrated. And I kind of hate that lately. I feel like lately he's kind of been like I know in the comics he's pretty much all right, but I hate like in most like mainstream like media and everything, they kind of just portray him as like another Batman villain.
Yeah, which he should be a Titans villain.
Yeah.
You know. Like I'm okay with him fighting Batman, but I'm just like, well, he's a Titans villain. Hell, whenever he showed up on Green Arrow, I was still like, he's a Titans villain, and they barely even had him on the show.
Exactly.
I will say I like the art. I like the actor that they got for him on the show. I forget what his name is, but he was also in this show called Spartacus: Blood and Sand.
Oh, I used to love that show.
Yeah. Like first season, that he was like the main other gladiator who didn't like Spartacus, but I was like, whoa, okay, I like that guy. So cool that they got him.
It was rad, man.
Oh yeah, like if you like 300, I highly recommend Blood and Sand. Audience, it's really good, but only
and
the
I
first
second that.
only the first season though. What ended up, yeah, one of the star of it ended up dying, if I remember right. So they had to replace him, and that's kind of when the show went downhill.
All it takes is one mishap or one death to change it all.
Also, you know, minor point. Lucy Lawless.
Ah, yes. Lucy
Mm.
Lawless.
Mm.
Say less.
Yes. I can hear the doges with the bats right now. They're waiting.
Yes.
But I believe that's most of what we were going to talk about. I'll ask you kind of one crazy out there question. I'll see how you react to it.
By all means.
Okay, and I do apologize if this is a little too real. Okay, on this plane of existence, who would you say is your anchor that keeps you in this universe? Say, I'll give you my example. I would say my grandma. She is probably my anchor, and if something happened to her, and if I didn't have any other friends or anything, I wouldn't want to be in this universe, you know? More like I would just kind of go into a depressive state of possibly no return. Do you have anybody like that?
If I were to be honest, this might sound cliche,
Go for
but it would definitely be my family and the certain friends that I know in real life. A lot of them, they have held me down when I kind of just wanted to give up. And my parents, especially, they have just been here for me, not just because they're my parents, but because they've kept me stable in a world that I'm just terrified to like even walk into or walk out to, I guess.
That's understandable.
You know? And
Yeah.
just I love them to death because they really have held me down for the longest. And even my friend who has like helped me through a lot since like middle school and everything, I got nothing but love for him. And I made sure like he was okay, because the day he told me that he would not know the path that he would go if it weren't for me made me realize this is definitely my ride or die right here. And I just been friends with him ever since, even to this day. So
Beautiful.
Thank you. And just I love them all dearly, and I just wish nothing but the best for all of them. And God forbid anything happened to them, I would just be destroyed. I would have nothing to live for, and I'd probably just live my life on the edge just to feel something.
Yeah, that's how I would kind of feel about my grandmother. She's probably the closest thing I actually had to a real mother. My mother, she kind of left my dad when I was younger, and then she tried to do the whole, oh, I would still want to be part of your life shit. And then after I realized I was older, you know, and I was forced to go be with her at times, you know, because joint custody and shit.
Right.
I realized I didn't want to be part of that. Like it mostly had to do with my stepdad. He was just kind of he was a fucking asshole, and this is, I don't mean to say it like this, but he would just blame it on his bipolarism. Like, and that's fine. You can do that, but that seems more like a crutch than more of an explanation. It's like, I'm an asshole. Like, I'm an asshole because it's like, no, I just think you really are just an asshole. Stop trying to cover it up, you know?
No, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, mental health is a thing, but sometimes people do want to exploit it, which really sucks.
And
And
that's a sad thing.
yeah, so she's definitely my tether. Because I really don't know how it feels to have a real mother.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of use her as my surrogate, which I think she understands that too, and she appreciates it. If something happened to her, I'd probably, fuck off from existence for a while. But
Honestly, yeah.
yeah, I mean, like I said though, I also included friends. If my friends, something happened to my friends, I would also do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say the grandmother would be definitely more of a anchor pull than the friends would. Friends come and go, which sucks because I've actually had to let go of a few recently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you tell them you'll, like, hey, I'll be there for you, but I can't watch you fuck up your life any longer, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I've got to live for me, and you're not seeing what you're doing. I'm not going to tell you anymore. You know?
And that's good.
Yeah, it is good, but it sucks if you've known them basically as long as I did. So it's just like, goddamn, it's like the biggest band-aid you've ever had to pull off, you know?
Nah, that's a sad thing because it's like having longtime friends, because I've definitely been down that same road. It's like
Yeah.
they're practically like, family or even more than that, where it's like, y'all feel connected. But
Yeah.
there's only so much you can do until you just can't give. You can't give any more than what they can like give back to you. It's always like a give and take type of thing. It's like that's just life, with anybody, with anything. Like any love that you give, you shouldn't always expect it back. But if someone's in your life for the longest time and cares about you for that long time, you should give something back instead of just
Yeah.
you giving and just getting nothing in return.
Yeah. It is about give and take, and if you're the one giving all the time, it's unbalanced.
Exactly. So
But
now I
yeah, I mean,
understand.
yeah. So, I mean, I still talk to one of my other friends I've had for so long, so that helps quite a bit. And heck, we were part of a group, and I explained to him, "Hey, this is what's going on. And I would say, they're free to live their life, and whatnot. But
Hmm.
yeah, I can't do this any longer." And he's like, "Yeah, I understand." I'm like, "I'm still gonna share memes with you, though. I'm still gonna talk to you." He's like, "Yeah, that's fine." And those are the people you kind of want to hold on to.
Oh yeah, nah. And that's just the people that you gotta like, stick close to. And it's like, ugh. I've always been in certain situations where it's like I have to reflect on whether I'm the bad guy in certain situations, which I've acknowledged and I regret them. And it's like I always try to like apologize to the person. If anything, it's like I don't expect forgiveness, but the least I can do is just be the bigger person and just apologize to them and knowing that, I don't have that guilt anymore. Even it's like I still feel it or like, I know they're not going to forgive me for what I've done, but if the least I can do is apologize, then I've done what I could.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, I think we're possibly good. Before we go, let's do music roulette again. All right.
Let's go.
Give me. And I'll probably have you posted in the general chat of our Discord as well. And
Alrighty.
I and I guess I should verify we kind of have a private podcast Discord because self-contained makes things a lot easier. uh,
Nah.
I can only imagine what the others go through. But go ahead, hit me with the track,
Okay, let's see. We
and
got
let's see if
plenty
I've
of
heard
tracks.
of it.
Alrighty. There's like plenty of tracks, but I will throw in a random one.
All right.
And the winner is. Wow, I got so many. But here,
Oh, I
the
know.
winner we have right here is Pull Me Back with featuring Tyrese. Well, Pulling
That
Me
sounds
Back with Tyrese.
familiar.
You might have come across it on occasion,
Maybe.
but it's
Yeah.
it's a good song. It's definitely a good song when you're in your feelings. If
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
No, I feel you. Okay, and yeah, I guess just I'll have you post that so I can remember it. I sleep, so sometimes my memory kind of
Oh
f's me
no.
over.
No,
uh,
I got you.
I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was like one time I think Ramen said he might have me on the podcast at some point. I was like, oh yeah, that was like that was gonna be like a week ago, and it's like 2 days till. I'm like, fuck.
Bro.
Or it's
Oh
like,
my God.
my friend. I'm paying off this PS4, and I was
Mhm.
like, he let me go like delinquent like 2 months. I was like, no, dude, don't do that. I will forget.
I will
My
forget.
sleep's terrible. Yeah, it's like my sleep is terrible.
I feel that.
Ah, whoa, Chingy, man, I haven't heard from him in a long time.
Right?
Cool. All right, I'll give that a listen. And let's see. I was trying to think of a good track. Bear with me one brief second.
Take your time. Take your time.
I mean, if I gotta say it, I think I might have you. I might have you review the track you were supposed to review.
By
Yeah,
all means, if you want, I'm down.
yeah. I'll just do that because I can't find anything right now. Hold on. So this track is 1 second. I'm gonna put it in the Discord as well. That way, noted. This is "Terrorist Threats" by Absol, featuring Danny Brown and I don't know how to. Shannon Akiko.
Oh yeah, Jean Ioko.
Okay, yes. All right. Well, I think that's it. And I hope you have a
Alrighty.
good rest of the night and podcast. We will get these. We'll try to do these. Whenever we feel like it, but maybe maybe monthly or bi-monthly, whenever we feel like it. So,
It's a
all right.
process.
Yeah. All right. So